By my in die ateljee is Warrick Kerns, die besturende direkteur van Insaka eCommerce Academy en ook Claudia Schonitz, hoof van Navorsing en Insigte by HaveYouHeard en sy sluit van Kaapstad by my aan. Claudia, welcome to WINSLYN. You guys have recently conducted two sets of researches for us to better understand this post-COVID consumer. Give us some idea of some of the key takeouts and why it's important for businesses and brands.
Yes, hello, thank you. Yes, financial and mental health are really significant challenges that South Africans are currently facing. You know, many people have emerged from the pandemic with considerably less spending power. From our findings, over a third are earning less money, almost half have cut down monthly expenses. And this is really putting pressure on brands and businesses to fight for less. And they also need to work harder to stay relevant in people's lives. Yeah. We also see that respondents are feeling more anxious. So they're looking to either fight in different ways, such as activism, or flee in escapism, or freeze in doing nothing, or flock in herds or groups where they might socialize, connect, or fight for a cause.
Yeah. Warrick, you were part of the PayFast research, and it's said that COVID has resulted in e-commerce and our adoption of it accelerating at a pace of 3 to 5 times quicker. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a thing where e-commerce has been growing year on year for the past long time. But COVID in 2020 has helped e-commerce to just see a step growth. So whether we can say it's exactly 3 to 5 years, we'll need the numbers to reflect that growth. But what we can say for sure is that consumers have changed their buying behavior to start shopping more online. Yeah. And so many business owners and entrepreneurs and people who just needed another source of revenue are looking at e-commerce as being the business opportunity that just makes so much sense.
Yeah. How do you think this is going to fundamentally change our economy and the way that businesses do business?
Well, it kind of just has accelerated the change that was coming about. The way that people should have been using virtual meetings and videos like tonight, or the way that people should have been shopping online beforehand, but now people are adopting that. So they've taken the technology that they probably should have been using and now have just accelerated the adoption of that.
Yeah. Claudia, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I think that was definitely one of the points that we saw during lockdown. We've seen definitely an increase in e-commerce, for example, and a lot more innovative ways of delivering and getting to consumers who weren't previously getting access to e-commerce in the past. So definitely agree with that.
So Claudia, it's one thing giving people access, but you're sitting with a lot of businesses and brands that have never interacted with consumers in this way. What's your advice normally for brands that, that's interacting with space that is completely new to them and to their brands? Claudia? So Claudia, so in other words, do you think that brands that have never been online find it difficult to suddenly serve a consumer that is now online? And what's normally the advice to businesses that have to suddenly interact with these consumers in an online environment?
I think sort of one of the points that we saw is very much going to the consumer where they are. They're looking for support. They're looking to, I think what we've seen is a lot of people have gone online that weren't previously online before. I think there's been a massive growth in e-commerce and people trying it for the first time. Yeah.
Claudia, you're talking about, in the study you talk about ideological in-grouping. It's not a new term. Why do you think that specifically in this environment is now more relevant?
I think during COVID, we were seeing a lot of big movements happening from the Black Lives Matter protests in the US to in South Africa, people really supporting and that drive for supporting small businesses. So what that means for brands is that they need to be aware that their consumers are becoming activists and are building very strong opinions. And they need that they believe in are either right or wrong. So there's a growing expectation for brands and businesses to make a positive impact on society and also to take a stand on issues or ideologies that consumers really care about rather than remaining neutral.
Yeah, absolutely. Warrick, I'm in the process of doing my own e-commerce platform. It's way more difficult than I ever thought it was going to be. I thought it really was an easy step going from a physical to an e-commerce environment. One thing is logistics are difficult and it's expensive. In this environment where we've got these thousands of businesses going online, shouldn't this be easier and actually, well, cheaper?
Well, you know, it's always going to be a challenge with selling online, is trying to get the parcel to the customer. But there has been some significant improvements in that field throughout this year. When e-commerce became available after the hard lockdown, that first week was bigger than last year Black Friday in terms of sales and the number of deliveries, which meant that the courier companies had to scale up immediately. And that high surge of sales has not remained the same level, but it's been much higher than ever before, which means that the courier companies have had to adapt and grow and try and scale up their businesses. But there's also been some other significant changes in the delivery space around locker delivery, pickup locations, and just consumers being a bit more savvy with how that works, because consumers don't really want to wait around at home waiting for the driver to come or maybe not come. So using a pickup location or a locker delivery point is actually a really great option, which many consumers are now adopting, and that also makes it a lot cheaper for the e-commerce seller, because those deliveries are much cheaper than the door-to-door delivery.
Absolutely. So Claudia, Warrick is talking about the fact that, well, we enjoy receiving these parcels at home, but it seems like the research is also kind of, I enjoy being at home, but it's also, I enjoy actually socializing. How do brands adjust to this with people enjoying their time at home, but also having this need to socialize?
Absolutely. I think the lockdown really forced South Africans to spend more time at home, and we adjusted by making it more comfortable and entertaining while also saving money. But yes, people are seeking human connections and real life experiences. And we saw that, you know, these needs weren't fulfilled by technology, and the novelty of virtual events has really died down. So what we're expecting really is an increase in the socializing. I mean, COVID fatigue has certainly set in, and we think people are wanting to go back to more of a normal and seeing others and building those connections. In the next year, we're expecting an increase in entertaining at home and socializing, but also events will start catering to socially distanced groups via public spaces. We saw that in Joe Biden's speech recently, or in the VMAs. But yes, certainly live events, those big sports matches and concerts, we don't see those happening until hopefully 2022, potentially now with the vaccine.
So Warrick, we've got these thousands of clients going online. Well, they're showing that they actually want to go online. Have you seen anything from entrepreneurs that want to go this route where they've made really big mistakes?
Well, the most common mistake, or really the thing that people need to nail down as a very first step, is finding the right product, finding a product that would sell online. So just making sure that the product that you have or that you're excited about, there's demand for it, that customers are going to buy it online, that it's small enough or the logistics is going to work, that maybe you can fit in a locker. I've written an ebook on this topic, which is available for free on the Insaka website if anybody's looking for that. But really, that is the thing that I see people getting wrong, and it's the first thing, because you could have the best website in the world, but if your product isn't going to sell online, then you're not going to have much success. So that's the first place to look.
Absolutely. Claudia and Warrick, thank you so much for your time. In verlede week se program het ons oor beleggings gesels, en na die uitsending was daar baie kykers wat navraag oor Signia se fondse gehad het. Ons neem 'n kort breek, maar bly ingeskakel, want net hierna vertel ons jou meer.